Okay, everybody, this is mooneydashcam. Today we are in Howard Beach, Queens. Follow me on Instagram at mooneydashcam. I post on there every day, and please leave suggestions in the comments for future videos. Don't worry about my lip. I told you guys I did martial arts. I got punch sparring. Not a big deal. I don't want to hear about it, okay? All right, this case is about Karina Vetrano that got killed while she was jogging in the marshes that are actually right behind me, if you can see right here. Terrible story about an innocent person getting caught up in a bad situation. Let's flip this around and get into it. Okay, this incident took place August 2nd, 2016. It was a regular Wednesday. Karina Vetrano is a 30-year-old girl. She was 4'11" and just over 100 pounds, just to give you an idea of who we're talking about. And she normally went on jogs with her father. Her and her father were very close, and they normally went on jogs together because the spot that they jogged in, I'm gonna let this person go around me because I'm nice. The spot that they jogged in kind of had some homeless people. It was there was no one around. Not the safest spot ever, but if you're together, you know, father and daughter, not a big deal. But the father, Philip, his back was hurting. So Karina still wanted to go on a jog. So she still goes on the jog against her father not wanting her to go. He was saying, it's dangerous, please be careful, I really don't want you to go, you know. She was like, she actually said, in quotes, don't worry, daddy, I'll be okay. Which, horrible. She goes on the jog. That's the last time she's seen alive. She's actually seen one more time on a security cam from a house, jogging by the house. I'll put an image of that up. We are going to the address where she lived, 16430 84th Street, Howard Beach. It's right at the end of this block here. And you'll see why they ran in the marshes, because they're literally a block away from the marshes. Very beautiful home we're gonna go by. I won't stay by it, stay outside of it long. So the father doesn't hear from her for about 2 hours, and she's not a long distance runner, so it's longer than she'd normally be out. So he tries to call her, and she's not answering the phone, so he gets a little bit worried, and then he talks to one of his neighbors who's actually a cop, and the neighbor comes over, and they call the police, and the police finally show up at about 7 p.m., and that's when the search started. Normally for a missing persons report, always what I heard was 24 hours. But I guess if you know a police officer, things get sped up a little bit more, which is the privilege of knowing a police officer. So the whole search gets launched at about 7 p.m. and everyone gets involved. The whole neighborhood's involved, the whole police department, all that. All right, the house is up here just a little bit. It's a Sunday, everyone's probably home. I don't know if the family still lives there, they probably do. Don't want to bother anyone, I'll be quick in and out of here. Oh, nice wind. Always windy when I film. I'm gonna put a Google Maps image of the marshes. This is her house. I'm not gonna go any closer than this. Hi, how are you? Yeah, I'm just doing a story for YouTube about the case with Karina. Yeah. Take care. Little interaction with the neighbors there. I don't ever blame anybody for questioning what I'm doing, because if someone was filming like that outside my house or my neighbor's house, I would ask the same thing. So be nice and respectful and be on the way. Okay, so I don't know if she ran this way or this way. You could all see in the video, I keep wanting to call her Katrina for some reason, but her name is Karina. I don't know if she went, if she turned out of her house from the left or to the right, but we're gonna go down this way. We're gonna make the right here. Now, right in front of us, you can see these are the marshes. The marshes go, it's a very, very big area. It's a spot where, I don't know where these bikers go. It's a spot where people ride bikes, ride motorcycles. A lot of illegal stuff happened back there back in the day. I believe some bodies were buried back there. It's a crazy area. But right over here, I mean, this story kind of shows that it's a crazy area. Just around here is the entrance that she took into the marsh, which is actually called Spring Creek Park. But people kind of call them the wetlands or the marshes. I'll pull up here, I'll hop out, look at the gate. Oh, there's someone coming out of there now, riding their bike. You're not supposed to enter through this gate. Alright, so this is where she entered from. As you can see, no hiking or dog walking. But this sign was even there back then, but I don't think people in the neighborhood really care about what they're saying. This is the trail back there. Say hi to the truck, as always. She might have came down from this way and came straight through, or she might have came around the corner like I came. But yeah, I guess this is the way most people go over now, right around the gate. Typical Queens fashion. I'm actually going to be taking you guys to the exact spot where the body was found, but this is not the closest entrance to it. So we're going to go drive a little bit longer, tell you more of the story, and we'll end up over there. Trying to avoid messing up my white sneakers. Always do a bad job of picking sneakers when I'm filming these kind of things. Let's see if I can avoid getting ticks too. Continuing on. Okay, so giant investigation going on, giant search party out for this girl. They don't know what happened. She goes into the marsh and doesn't come out. After hours and hours of searching, there's actually a police helicopter that's flying above. The father, the whole family, the whole neighborhood's looking, and the police helicopter shines the spotlight down to this one spot. And I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but the father, Philip, was close to where the spotlight shined down. So he runs over there. It's about 15 feet off of the main trail, which is also not a trail she normally ran. A lot of people were wondering why she was over there, because that was a trail that more homeless people hung around, and it was a little bit more sketchy and a little bit more unsafe. People don't understand to this day why she was over in that spot. Who knows, maybe she just wanted to change it up that night. Not everything has to be so ominous, you know? Sometimes bad things just happen for no reason at all. So she's about 15 feet off the trail. He sees his daughter face down. This part's terrible. Underwear and shorts down, off one leg, just on one leg, down to her knee. Sports bra pulled down. Horrible situation. I don't even want to go into what possibly happened there. You can put it together in your own head. All beat up, neck visibly swollen, scratch marks, cuts all over her body. In her hands is still weeds from being dragged, trying to grab onto the ground. And he actually runs to her and picks her up right away, which maybe he shouldn't have done, but you're not going to judge a father for doing that, finding his daughter face down and dead, because it does corrupt the crime scene, but in the long run it didn't affect much. So her neck was visibly swollen, teeth were broken, cuts all over her body and her neck. They suspected the cuts on her neck were from herself trying to grab the attacker's hands off of her neck. She was badly bruised. Her shoes were found feet away. Her phone was found feet away. And from what it looked like, did I mention her teeth were broken? From what it looked like, she put up a hell of a fight. Like, seriously fought for her life. But like I mentioned earlier, she's 4'11" and just over 100 pounds. It's a tough one. It's a tough fight. Okay, I'm gonna pull up right here and I'll tell you the rest of the story as we walk through this marsh. I'm gonna park right in front of this Drake's Devil Dogs truck. Hopefully nobody bothers me. But we'll see. I've yet to find a road this truck can do an actual U-turn on. So you guys know of any roads in the area that I could test that theory? We're right by JFK if you see that plane there. Listen to this, everyone. That's my truck being locked. I know many of you are pleased to hear that. I don't know if I mentioned before, but the father actually set up a little memorial where her body was found. I guess to maybe reclaim the terrible spot. He goes there and hangs out. Alright, let's go on this path. What a weird area this is. Like I said, people ride dirt bikes back here. There's actually a story that involves one of the mob cops that the mafia cops that worked for gas pipe that involved these back roads. But I'll do that on another day. So I have to make a right up here. You could see how jogging here could be a little bit weird. So the medical examiner ruled strangulation cause of death. Oh, a shoe. Nice. You can see this path is a little bit more traveled than this one. But of course we're going on the less traveled one. There's a plane, hello. Now it was a full-on hunt to find the killer. So they really didn't know. They assumed it was a homeless man at first because this area is frequented by homeless men. But that ended up not being the case. DNA was taken from under her fingernails, around her neck, and on her phone. There were some reports that said there was a used condom found in the area, but I don't think that ever panned out to be involved in anything. You could see someone leaving a used condom around here. So, posters were put up, a reward was posted that quickly grew to about $20,000 by the NYPD. And then the family, at $20,000 for tips leading to any type of arrest. Then the family posted a GoFundMe that to add on top of the $20,000 a bigger reward. And it grew to $300,000 for any type of tip leading to an arrest. Which actually ended up being a little bit of a problem because people really wanted that money, so they were calling in maybe tips they thought they were helpful, but weren't really helpful and just kind of led to nothing and took up the police's time. Okay, it's a little bit farther up here. It's gonna be on the left side. Now, can you imagine being in the shoes of being the family or the father, looking for this girl, you know, searching off each side, who knows what's going on. It's really secluded back here, you know, you wouldn't hear someone screaming. Why is that all flattened? Very weird, it's kind of an eerie area. But, so nothing really comes up for about like 6 months. It's terrible. And then an NYPD lieutenant that lived in Howard Beach, he was one of the neighbors, he remembered that a man that he thought was casing houses was walking around. He called the cops on him, the guy got questioned. He ended up being let go because there was no crime that he was committing, but it was put down that his name was Chanel Lewis. Chanel. I think that's Chanel Lewis. A 20-year-old guy. He was very poor. He lived in a housing project in East New York. I'll put up a picture of where he lived, not far from here, about 3 miles. With his mother, his sisters, and his sister's kids. And he actually went to a learning disability school. We should be very close to it. Yeah, it's gonna be up here on the left. I hope no one's here paying their respects. I don't want to bother anyone. You can see how creepy this is. No one around. So yeah, they instantly follow up that tip. This is it right here. Put the camera down for a second. Okay, so as you could imagine, walking up on a dead body here, especially your daughter's horrible, horrible situation. This is a very nice thing they did. You can see the rock there, everything. They have a little trash can out here for anyone who's hanging out. Keep it clean. But obviously some people are terrible, and you have a ladder dumped back here. It's just how it goes sometimes. It's a nice little spot now that they made. It really is. So, this guy, Chanel Lewis, was actually known by police. He would wander around the marshes in like way too many clothes in the middle of the summer, like a hoodie and a hat and stuff. And the police sketch, put up the police sketch from someone who saw someone suspicious on that night, mentioned the person had a hat on. What is this? Someone's feeding cats over here? There's a cat sleeping right there. Well, I hope it's sleeping. Oh my god, okay. Okay, there's a tent. We'll be turning around now. Someone could definitely be living over here. Don't want to be disturbing anyone. One last look at this, then we'll go on our walk back. So 6 months to the day of the actual murder, the father was told that they found a suspect and the DNA matched. Now, for the DNA to match, it could only match 1 in every 6.8 trillion people. 6.8 trillion. Okay, I'm gonna speed this next walk back up because it's not that interesting. You're gonna see the same thing double. So Chanel Lewis's family was outraged by this. And his community was outraged also, because they thought that it was kind of like they just picked a random black person to pin the crime on, which I'm not saying doesn't happen, but this was not one of those cases because the DNA actually matched. But continuing on, the mother actually said that he came home that night all beat up and scratched and his clothes torn and all disheveled, hand injury, and he said he was mugged, which there was never a police report of, but not everyone makes a police report when they're mugged. And then some people also were saying that, okay, so he was DNA swabbed voluntarily. He didn't fight the DNA swab. They didn't have to get a warrant for it. Then the next day he was brought in for questioning, and he confessed. But some people were claiming it was a coerced confession, which is a more common thing in that age group than you'd expect. So I consider looking into that, but the DNA doesn't lie. Definitely doesn't lie. So in the confession that people say was coerced, he actually said, I was beating her, I was mad at her. And he claimed that he drowned her in a puddle, but like I said, the medical examiner said that she was suffocated from like hands around the neck. And he also claimed a bunch of times that he didn't sexually assault her, but there's overwhelming evidence of that, but I will not go into detail. It's unnecessary. Just know that it happened. So then the next day, the father actually took him to the hospital to get treated for his injuries, and that's recorded. So he did definitely have injuries. His DNA was definitely on and around her body. There's a lot going against him here. So the first trial that he was involved in was actually a hung jury. They could not decide. So the next trial, a couple months later, in April 2019, he was convicted of first-degree murder, first-degree sexual abuse, and 2 counts of second-degree murder. He got life without parole. Now I'm going to cut here and we're going to go to his house. That's not far away. Okay, we are down the block now. This is not typically what you'd imagine a housing project to look like, but this is affordable housing. Let's see, just past that tree, that red awning thing right there. Not awning, but red brick building. That's it. About in a second. A nice Sunday, you gotta wash your car. I get it, trust me. So this is the house right here. I don't know if his family still lives here, but in 2021, 40,000 people signed a petition to have his case reopened to get justice for him. .576 Essex. All right, back to the truck. We're in East New York, if I didn't mention that already. New grill, I'm gonna mention a lot now. So I don't think anything ever came of the 40,000 signatures that the petition collected to get him out of jail, because he's still in jail. But I think that is pretty much everything I have to tell you about this horrible situation of an innocent lady going jogging and getting sexually assaulted and killed to have her father find her. I will see you guys in the next one. Hope you enjoyed.